Good evening, students. Today we are going to study topic metals and non-metals. You have seen many items around yourself, around your house, around your home, around your park. There were some items. Okay, all these items were made of metals or non-metals. As we have known, there were total 118 elements in our periodic table. Total 118 elements were present. These 118 elements were classified in two categories on the basis of their physical properties. Okay, on the basis of their physical properties, these elements classified into two categories. First is metals and second one is non-metals. Okay, on the basis of physical properties, these were classified as metals and non-metals. In periodic table, all elements are metals except, and all metals are metals and all are solid in state. In non-metals, only 22 elements are present as non-metals and they occur in all the three states. Okay, now position of metals and non-metals in periodic table. Position in periodic table. We have all known that metals are present at the leftmost corner and center of periodic table. All metals are present at left hand side and at center of periodic table. And all non-metals are present at the right hand side of the periodic table. All non-metals are present at right hand side of periodic table. Okay, and metalloids are present at the center of both metals and non-metals. Metals and non-metals were separated by metalloids which were present in form of a zigzag line. Okay, now the next topic was physical properties of metal. What are the physical properties of metal? Why do metals show physical properties? Because due to electronic configuration of metals, metal possess free electrons due to which they can lose electrons and form bonds. That's why metals show chemical reactivity or physical properties. Okay, now what are the physical properties? First, metals are solid at room temperature. We all know that all metals are solid at room temperature. All metals are solid in state except one metal, that is mercury. Mercury is a metal that exists in liquid state. Okay, so this is the first property, metals are solid in state. Second one was metals are malleable. What do you mean by malleability? It is the property that the metals can be beaten into thin sheets without breaking. Okay, property by which metal can be beaten into thin sheets without breaking. Okay, so this property is called as malleability. Gold and silver are the best malleable metals. Like copper, aluminium also show good malleability property. Third one is metals are ductile. What do you mean by ductility? Property by which metal can be drawn into thin wires. Property by which metal can be drawn into thin wires. Okay. Similarly, gold and silver are the most ductile metals. Gold and silver are most ductile metals. Okay, copper and aluminium are also very ductile, and these can also be drawn into thin wires, which is used in electrical wiring. Okay, next one is fourth property is metals are good conductors of heat and electricity. All metals are good conductor of heat and electricity. Why do metals conduct heat and electricity? Due to the presence of free electrons. Okay, metals are good conductors of heat. The conductivity of heat is called thermal conductivity. Okay, silver is best conductor of heat. Best conductor of heat and electricity. Whereas lead is the poorest conductor of heat. Okay, mercury metal is also a good conductor of heat. Copper and aluminium are next best conductors of electricity. Since silver is expensive, therefore copper and aluminium are commonly used for making electrical wires. Okay, the next property was metals are lustrous and can be polished. Metals are lustrous and can be polished. Okay, most of the metals have shine and they can be easily polished. So the shining appearance of metal, is also known as metallic luster. Okay, gold, silver, copper, all metals have metallic luster. Okay, now sixth point is metals have high densities. Metals have high densities. Most of the metals are heavy and have high densities. Okay, example, mercury is a metal whose density is very high. Okay, mercury's density is 13.6 gram per centimeter cube. Okay, however, there were some exceptions also. Sodium, potassium, magnesium, aluminium have low densities. Exception: sodium, potassium have low densities. Generally, the density of a metal is directly proportional to its atomic mass. If we increase then atomic mass, then density of metal or a substance always increases. Okay. Next property was metals are hard. Most of the metals are hard, but all the metals are not equally hard. Okay, metals are hard, but not equally. Okay, example, iron, copper, aluminium are quite hard, but sodium, potassium are exceptions. They are so soft that they can easily be cut with knife. Okay, next property, metals have high melting point and boiling point. Okay, most of the metals have high melting and boiling point. High melting and boiling point. Exception: sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium are the exceptions that have no melting point. Tungsten is the metal. Tungsten has highest melting point. Okay. Next property was metals are hard or rigid. Most of the metals are rigid and have high tensile strength. 10th one was metals are sonorous. You know, all metals produce ringing sound when we hit an object. Okay, so metals, they produce ringing sound when they are hit. That's why this property is called sonority. Okay, so all the physical properties of metals are completed. Next, physical properties of non-metals. All the physical properties of non-metals are generally opposite to all the physical properties of metals. What are the physical properties of non-metals? First, non-metals are brittle in nature. It means if we apply force on non-metal, they can easily be break into two pieces. So that's why they are not malleable or ductile. At the same time, they are bad conductors of heat and electricity. They are bad conductor of heat and electricity, except graphite. Graphite is a good conductor of electricity because due to the presence of free electrons. Fourth one is they are not lustrous and cannot be polished. Exception was graphite and iodine. They both were lustrous nonmetals. Fifth one was non-metals may be solid, liquid or gas. Non-metals may be solid, liquid or gas at room temperature. Sixth point was non-metals are generally soft. Except carbon. Diamond an allotropic form of carbon, which is the hardest natural substance known in nature. Non-metals have generally low melting and boiling point. Low melting point and boiling point. Except graphite, which has highest melting point, that is 3730 degrees Celsius. Eighth one was non-metals have low densities, except iodine has high density. Okay, so these were the physical properties of metals and non-metals. Next topic was chemical properties of metals. Next topic was chemical properties of metals. The atoms of the metals have usually 1, 2 or 3 electrons in the outermost shells. These outermost electrons are loosely held by their nuclei. For example, sodium metal can lose outermost 1 electron to form positively charged ion Na+. After losing the outermost electron, it gets stable electronic configuration of the noble gas. So similarly, all these metals can acquire similar electronic configuration, stable electronic configuration. So some of the important chemical properties of metals are, first is reaction with oxygen. Metals react with oxygen to form metal oxides. Metal oxides. Example, sodium is a metal, react with oxygen to form sodium oxide. Okay. When sodium oxide, what is the nature of sodium oxide? What is the nature of metallic oxide? When sodium oxide is dissolved in water, it forms sodium hydroxide. And sodium hydroxide is an alkali, so we can say that sodium oxide is basic in nature. It has the property that it turns red litmus to blue. Okay. Similarly, we see another example when magnesium reacts with oxygen to form magnesium oxide. Reactivity of metal towards oxygen. Some metals like sodium, potassium, calcium react with oxygen even at room temperature. Some metals like magnesium do not react with oxygen at room temperature. They burn in air on heating to form magnesium. Some metals like zinc do not react with oxygen at room temperature. They burn in air only on strong heating to form corresponding oxides. Metals like iron and copper do not burn in air even on strong heating. They react with oxygen only on prolonged heating, like Fe plus oxygen gas. Okay. Now next is reaction with water. Metals react with water to form hydroxide or oxide. Okay. Metal react with water to form metal oxides or the reactivity of metal towards water depends upon the nature of the metal. Some metals react even with cold water, some react with water only on heating, while there are some metals which do not react even with steam. Okay, so we see that first, sodium and potassium metals are very reactive metals, so they react vigorously with cold water. Sodium react vigorously with cold water to form sodium hydroxide and hydrogen gas was evolved. Similarly, potassium is also very reactive metal. It reacts with water to form potassium hydroxide and hydrogen gas was evolved. And this water was cold. The reaction between sodium and water is so violent that the hydrogen evolved generally catches fire. Next, calcium also reacts with cold water to form calcium hydroxide and gives hydrogen gas. The reaction is less violent. Magnesium reacts very slowly with cold water but reacts rapidly with hot boiling water and form magnesium oxide. Metals like zinc and aluminium react only with steam to form their respective oxides and hydrogen. Zinc reacts with water to form zinc oxide and hydrogen gas was evolved. Similarly, when aluminium reacts with water to form aluminium oxide and hydrogen gas was evolved. Iron metal does not react with water under ordinary conditions. The reaction occurs only when steam is passed over red hot iron and the products are iron, 2 or 3 oxide and hydrogen. This is steam. Iron was red hot. Okay, metals like copper, silver, gold do not react with water under strong conditions. Next property was reaction with dilute acids. Metals react with dilute acids and liberate hydrogen gas. Only reactive metals such as copper, silver, gold do not liberate hydrogen from dilute acids. The reaction of metal with dilute hydrochloric and dilute sulfuric acid are similar. They give metal sulfates and hydrogen gas. Especially dilute HNO3 is a strong oxidizing agent which oxidizes metals and does not produce hydrogen. Dilute nitric acid is a strong oxidizing agent. It oxidizes metal and do not produce hydrogen gas. The reactivity of different metals is different for same acid. For example, sodium, potassium and calcium react violently with dilute hydrochloric and sulfuric acid, liberating hydrogen gas and corresponding metal salts. Example, Na plus HCl gives NaCl plus hydrogen gas was evolved. Similarly, Na plus H2SO4 gives Na2SO4 plus hydrogen gas was evolved. Similarly, we can write reaction for magnesium. MgCl2 plus hydrogen gas was. Okay, next, aluminium and zinc react with dilute hydrochloric acid and dilute sulfuric acid, liberating hydrogen gas and corresponding metal salt. Similarly, zinc. Iron reacts very slowly with dilute hydrochloric acid or dilute sulfuric acid. It is less reactive than zinc and aluminium. Copper does not react with dilute HCl or dilute sulfuric acid. No reaction takes place. Therefore, copper is even less reactive than iron. The next property was reaction of metal with salt solutions. When a more reactive metal is placed in a salt solution of less reactive metal, the more reactive metal displaces the less reactive metal from its salt solution. For example, if we take a solution of copper sulfate and put a strip of zinc metal in the solution, you will observe that the blue color of copper sulfate fades and copper metal is deposited on the zinc strip. Okay, so we see the reaction that zinc plus CuSO4 gives ZnSO4 plus copper. Because zinc is more reactive than copper, it displaces copper metal from its salt solution. We know that copper sulfate solution is blue color in nature and zinc sulfate is colorless. Similarly, zinc displaces copper from its salt solution. If we take zinc sulfate solution and put copper, no reaction takes place. Because copper is less reactive than zinc, it cannot displace zinc from its salt solution. This means that copper cannot displace zinc metal from its solution. Thus we can conclude that zinc is more reactive than copper. However, if we put gold or platinum strip in copper sulfate solution, then copper is not displaced by gold or platinum. Thus gold and platinum are less reactive than copper. Okay.